Hello, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. On April 24th, 2026, at approximately 8:59, Cole Allen, you see him on surveillance footage here. And then about 24 hours later, he attempts to shoot the president and other cabinet members at the White House Correspondent dinner at a Hilton Hotel in Washington. Now here is Cole Allen walking down the hallway. Now, I'm not sure if he's looking at a map or what he's doing right there. But just a moment after that, like literally just after that surveillance shot, is the door to this rec room here. And I think he's getting out his card, maybe from his hotel so he can open it up. And now he's in the rec room, and he's really awkward, just sort of like, what are you doing? Just looking around, just, who just stand, go into a rec room and you just stand there. And he starts walking away, and then he asks a question to the woman who works in the rec room. And then he just kind of walks away. And then the surveillance footage that was released, they sped it up 300% here, probably because you can't really see him for much of it. Now here you can. And right now it's 9:01 and just about 30 seconds right now. And, he's just walking around. Who knows what he's doing? He must know that he's going to be on surveillance doing this. And then he exits the workout room. And he's sort of looking at that door right there. And eventually he comes out that door 24 hours later with a trench coat on. So here he is walking down the hall. Now look how his left arm swings a lot. His right arm really swings a lot and actually goes behind him. His left and right arm go behind him. And he's very skinny. I mean, if he weighs 130 pounds, I'd be surprised. And you see him walking around the corner there. And then 3 minutes later, on the 24th, the night before the shooting attempt, he comes walking back down. And we can see it's 21, so 9:06 and 17 seconds. And let's see how long it takes. 06:27, and then literally 7 or 8 seconds later, you see him through the door to the workout room, go through those double doors outside. And now this is April 25th. Around 8:23, I think. He comes out of those double doors wearing the trench coat. And here he is, just moments later, walking down the hallway at 8:23:21. And you can see the bulge in his jacket. Now notice his right arm is very still. It's not swinging like it was before. So it's a little bit like Tyler Robinson with the stiff leg, He walked differently. Now he is walking differently in this video. Cole Allen, in that case it was Tyler Robinson, but you can see his right arm isn't swinging because he's controlling the shotgun that's below the jacket. Just keep making sure it doesn't fall. Now it might be on a strap or through his pants somehow, but you can definitely see a bulge out the back of his jacket in various frames when you're watching it. Now I made this really cool video where I did a composite where I took both times he walks down, and look how different it is on the one with the jacket. His arm isn't swinging at all. So again, it just shows you, man, that person's exactly the same height, etc. It is him. I mean, we know it is because eventually he walks through into this area, and then in the background, that door in the upper left-hand corner with the white circle around it, he goes in. And he's got the trench coat on. Now, it's interesting how the dog follows him in there. It must have scented for some reason and followed him in there. And this officer seems to be asking him questions. And the second he turns around, boom, takes that jacket off and then starts shooting. I think he took one shot, and then an officer shot 5 times. So I think there's 6 total shots. Now, shot 1 and 2, 1 being Cole Allen, and 2 are almost simultaneous, but it's the shot by the officers just after he shot. And this is the slow version that they have. Looks like they're taking apart the magnetometer. And this officer, this Secret Service guy right here on the right, was totally unaware. But this police officer, man, he was quick draw McGraw. I mean, boom. He's got that. He sighted him and pulled out and started shooting within, I think, less than a second. And so, yes, there is 4 different shots that you can see come from his gun. And here's another version of it. Now, I do sync up the audio from the ballroom where you can hear the gunshots in the background, and I sync them up, boost up the volume, and put them to the gunshots that we see on the video. So here he comes, and I haven't done that yet, but it's coming up here in just a second. You can see all the different Secret Service people coming into the area, but it's just, I think it's unacceptable that somebody's able to get in and even make that attempt. I mean, he shouldn't, no way even get past the magnetometer. I mean, I guess there are people staying in the hotel, but I mean, the area where the magnetometers are should be basically, cordoned off from any public being able to get in there. But somehow this guy was able to, you can see him in the upper left-hand corner. He goes into that door. And then right behind him comes the canine. And he must still have the trench coat on when this officer's talking to him, or it would have revealed the shotgun and his other weapons that he had underneath there. If you remember the photograph of him, he had, knives and I think a pistol with him, a 1911. And I think this is my version. I made it 30% speed. So they're taking apart the magnetometer. Now that officer finally leaves with his dog, and then just literally moments after that, like maybe a second, Cole Allen takes off, and he has a rifle on him. And then I think right there's a shot, and then boom, the first shot by the officer. So right after one another. And then again, the Secret Service come from outside the door there into the area. They had that area guarded well. I'd like to know what the circumstances were in here that allowed him to make his way into that area and then go through that door. That one officer with the dog, checked him out. It didn't seem like he was overly concerned when he walked away. Yeah, so I hear 6 shots. 1 from the shotgun, and then just after the shotgun shot, you can hear the sound of the pistol, but the shotgun sound sort of overwhelms it a little bit. And then the pistol then fires 5 times total. So there's 6 shots that are actually audible. And this is another slow version again. And this is their slow version. So there's shot 1, 2, right? And then 3, 4, and then 5 right there. And then there's 1 off camera, 6. So there's actually 6 total shots. 1 by the assailant and 5 by the officer. All right, now there's also some other things to look at. It's pretty interesting. You see in this last shot right here, see right there, this item, I think that's a knife, and then perhaps even a sheath is right there. And I mean, it could be the other way around, that that's the knife and the other one's, but see how they're sliding? It's almost like they grabbed them off of him and just slid them way over here. And they're sort of looking in that same direction that they would have came from. So I don't know precisely what those are, but it looks like maybe a knife and a sheath. You know, if I zoom in, you know, that sort of looks like it could be a blade. This one here, that kind of looks like a sheath with a snap on it. So maybe they did throw it over there. That's pretty interesting. There's also some other elements in here that I think are worth discussing. All right, so let's take a look at this real time here. We'll see if we can figure out where a bullet went. Now, I'm certain I see a bullet hole in the wall. I just don't know which shot it was or if it was deflected. Now, if we look at this, let's just play it. Here comes Cole Allen. And then here's the first shot right there. See how there's the fire coming out of the end of the pistol there? Now, if you look at the angle of that, it's kind of up into this area here. So I would think that if we sped it up, I mean, I counted earlier, it's 14 frames. So that was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You can see a little dot that shows up right there. Now, that hole up there, I think, is a bullet hole. Because look at it. It's not, you can barely see it in this frame right here. Okay, and that's because, you know, sometimes the codec in these videos, they kind of predict if it's filming a wall, and I think this hole shows up. I think it's even there earlier than what we're seeing it. Okay, so we see the hole there, and then after this, it stays there. See, it's on every frame after this. So I mean, we could even go. You can see it up in the background there. But if we go to something further along, for example, like even here at the very end, you come up and that's still there. However, if you go back to right there, just before the shooting happened, and it's right in the middle of the shooting, by the way, so that could have been a ricochet or whatever it was, but without a doubt, that is a hole created by either a bullet or something that broke off because of a bullet, etc. But that is a hole in the wall. Now there's something else that's interesting over on the right hand side. So let me scroll this down a little bit so you can see the ceiling there. And it looks like right up in there, there's this sort of an interesting element. So there's nothing. And then you see that little flash right there? I mean, it almost looks like there's a hole there. But it's so small, I'm just wondering if the camera had a difficult time picking it up later. But look when that is. It's almost exactly when there's fire from this gun here. You see that. Now that could be a reflection. And then it just kind of goes away. But I am certain that and it's weird too because that even shows up before this one does. And that's because I think it's just the camera, the codec itself of the video wasn't able to pick it up. All right, well, that is all I've got for you here. If you guys notice anything else, let me know. But I think there is obviously a defect up there on the wall behind the magnetometer that we just showed. And there's perhaps something up above those two doors over there. And it looks like they slid his knife on the ground. You can see that he's walking with his arm stiff, keeping control of the rifle underneath the trench coat. All right, you guys, thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment in the comment section. Leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.